The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special couples guest today, all the way from the Salem, Oregon area with EXP, with the Hilltop Property Group. We have Mike and Jordan Hill. How are you guys?
We're awesome. How are you today?
Yeah, thanks for being on today. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to let you guys off the hook. I asked this question of everyone when they come on. Were the two of you like 5 years old, tugging at your parents' pant leg, saying, hey, you know, mom and dad, how do I become a realtor? While the rest of us wanted to be astronauts or whatever else. Or did you kind of fall back into it like the rest of us?
Yeah, well, funny you asked. I actually wanted to be an astronaut as a little kid, no lie. And yeah, it was a complete
normal.
No, it's a complete accident. I actually got licensed while I was working for EXP Corporate in an admin type position. And, you know, that was very different than being an agent. So I ended up getting licensed. So as soon as I clocked out for the day, I was in agent mode. And then a year later.
So I got licensed just kind of to support her. I had no big plans of becoming an agent, like on a full-time scale. So I did IT for the last 15 years.
Okay.
Sitting at a desk, really boring stuff. You know, the deeper you get into IT, the less you are around people that like to be around other people. And that wasn't really my jam. So, you know, I closed my first deal and I was hooked, and I kept chasing that high ever since. So.
Yeah, he came to me, I'm quitting my job. And I was like, what? You know, we have 4 kids and we've always been just kind of all about the security and, you know, the consistency. Right. And so it's a whole new mindset shift when we switched over.
Yeah, I love it. And it's so funny, ironic, not funny, haha. Could be funny, haha, but more ironic. You give that analogy, Mike. It's like, yeah, once you get that first hit, it is an addictive drug that you can't get rid of. You can't imagine going back to X salary per year and knowing, wow, that could just be a deal, you know, or 2.
Yeah,
I'm in Costa Rica the rest of it, or whatever it might be, right? I mean, everybody's got a different tier, so I love it. I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So we talked about how you got started. I think you fulfilled that part. I wanted to know. Let's talk about today. You know, let's talk about the here and now. The Hilltop Property Group. So you have a team. Your team leaders on that, or it's your team. Tell me how that got started. I mean, how do you go from, hey, we're part-time agents, to, hey, we're addicted, to, hey, we're closing deals, to, oh my gosh, I've got 13 people. And I didn't look at the exact numbers. I'm making that up, but you know, all of a sudden I've got 13, quote unquote, mouths to feed besides the 4 children. How did that start? How does it look now? And is that going to grow? Are we going to get to watch that grow?
Yeah. Well, you know, I was still working my staff job for the first 2.5 years of being an agent myself. He quit right away. So, together, you know, he only had me in the evenings to then support him. It kind of flip-flopped. And we realized we were starting to get really, really busy. And we're like, well, let's have a buyer's agent to kind of like, we can just be a little 3-person team. And we have someone just to help us with our extra buyers, because those take some, you know, a little more time. And so that was our first team member that we added.
Yeah. And we really, at the beginning, had no desire to even have a team. We were just like, you know, we don't want to manage other people. We just kind of want to do our thing and, you know, and keep it really simple. And then, you know, after we started bringing people on, it's like we kind of found a passion for mentorship and coaching and helping other people succeed. And so, you know, that's kind of where the seed was planted. And then we, have been blossoming ever since. So, yeah,
like basically I love supporting and managing others. And he is great with like the sales manager type, leading others by example. He's a wonderful agent. So together we complement each other, and we end up loving being team leaders. And we have 15 team members, and we're growing every month. So so it's been this kind of a whirlwind, and we love it.
That's fantastic. I love hearing stories like that. They're perfect. So let's start getting brave. Let's put on actually, if you could just pull over your vision board for me real quick. No, I'm kidding. Or put on the prognostication hat, however you guys want to look at it. But what does the next 1, 3, and if you really want to be bold, well, see right there, Mike said, nope, I'm not bold, I'm out. No,
our radio just
he had the cough.
Yeah, our cat wanted to listen to some Google. So,
no, but let's look at the next 1, 3, and if you really want to be bold, let's look at the next 5 years. What does it look like for Hilltop Property Group?
Yeah. So, last year was kind of our first year with like an actual running, like serious production team. And we were at 22 million. And keep in mind, most of them were baby agents. So a lot of our time was spent really mentoring them. We're only 3 years in the business. So we are kind of the next step for them. And so we just poured our heart and soul in getting them prepared, like we wish we would have been our first year in. And so, but ended the year quite well. But this year, as we grow fast and we're gaining momentum so quickly, we actually are on track to become a mega icon team with through EXP. And that's something that to even qualify to be a mega icon team, you have to have at least 175 units and 40 million in production. So that is the end of year goal that we have set for ourselves. So
good goal.
Yeah. 3 years, we want to at least double that. And in 5 years, even more than double that.
Yeah. And so it's funny, when we started, we were just hoping that people would kind of pick up on what we're doing. Like Jordan said, we're kind of the blueprint for new agents, right? So that's a lot of who's on our team now. So we're building them up. And, it's just been kind of fun we're now at the point where we're creating such a culture and a vibe, if you will, that we're able to kind of be more picky about who we're bringing on. And we're getting the right people in the right places. And it's been really cool to see everybody buy in and kind of, contribute in their own way, which is awesome.
Yeah, and we're actually now naturally attracting agents that are already in production, which is something we did not have last year.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. And so that's pretty amazing. So we're excited that we must be doing something right.
For sure. Yeah, you're definitely doing something right, or we wouldn't even be talking today. I love it. That's fantastic. So I do want to ask a little more about the team. I want to dovetail off the team approach. And, actually, Jordan, you kind of just answered it a little bit. I was going to ask, though, that's one of the contentious things, even when you're a team lead, right? It's like, okay, how do I build the team? There's a lot of orphans out there. There's a lot of folks looking around, and, do I take the new realtor right out fresh? And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And train them, which, obviously you both do very well, Mike. You have that personality and that leadership quality. Or do you find that second, third year that's like, I've done some production, I've closed some deals, I understand the paperwork, guys. I don't, I'm not going to be like, paperwork. So how do you vet them, though? I mean, does it really boil down to whoever I really want to ride this journey with in the bus? Or does it, like, I know teams that say, hey, as long as I like them, we're good. And then I know other teams that go, no, we give them 9 different tests: a DISC test, a personality test, a psychiatric test. I hit them in the head with a hammer. And then I have them interview with everybody in the office. So everybody's got these extremes, right? What is what is your vetting process? Is it just good feel, or?
Yeah. So we have kind of a different and fun vetting process. It is the same for both new and experienced. Of course, what comes through, it shows, but what we care about is, what they give us in that screening process. So we actually let them choose one of 3 ways. that they can submit basically an application to join the team, and it tells us what we want to know. So the first one is they can take a personality test, and then they basically give us a complete analysis on what their personality type is and what they believe they can contribute to their real estate career. And also, what are some of their areas of opportunity and what are they going to do about it? So that's one option. They can also choose basically coming up with their business plan. So no matter if they're new or not, like what are they wanting to, their goals to be, and how are they going to get there? So basically we want to see not only their goals, but how do they get there?
Right.
So, and then we just implemented our third one. Let me pull it up real quick,
So we're kind of coming up with these things on the fly as we figure out like what we're about, right? So, and they all really tie back into our core values and what their personality test or, their business plan, how that ties into one of our core values and really showcases that, just to kind of see if they're, a good fit for us on our team specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the last one is recording a video for us, a day in the life of them as a real estate agent. And they are actually in all three, they are to implement a Hilltop core value. We have 5 of them. Yeah. And so just throwing that in there. And so basically with all of them, we are wanting to see them go outside of their comfort zone and to have fun with it. And so our core values are fun, authenticity, community, teamwork, and success. And so they can throw any of those in there. So if they come in there, he made a sample video of one talking about a day in the life as well as implementing fun. And he wore a wig and a cowboy hat, and it was so funny. But we're finding that agents that are, whether they're new or experienced, recording a video or a presentation that they explain, that's not normal and it's not in their comfort zone. But if they go all in and they show us that they're not afraid of, they don't know what we're like half the time. They don't know what we want to see. And actually, we just want to see the effort that they put in.
Yeah, that teamwork works both ways, right? The teamwork works both ways. It's them and you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows us like if they're coachable or if they're, if they're able to buy into what we have to offer. Because that's what it is at the end of the day, is contributing to our culture and our team. So.
Yeah, fantastic. So now I'm going to give you the opportunity to extol the greatness of where you live in your area. Tell us the greatness of Salem. I've worked with other agents, in Oregon and places like that on doing some, podcast helping and marketing and things like that. Tell me why people gravitate to that area, and even better, like, why don't they leave? Right? I mean, why do you stay? I mean, a lot of people can be migratory and try somewhere for a couple of years. Why do they plant roots there in the Salem area?
Yeah. So the cool thing about Salem specifically is, you're about an hour away from any like outdoor activity you want to partake in, right? So we're an hour away from the beach. We're an hour away from the mountains where you can go skiing.
Nice.
Just anywhere you want to go, you can find that climate, except for the warmth, right? Like we kind of talked about earlier. You got to wait for summer on that. But,
right.
And there, we're in the mountains, there's lots of cool hiking spots. You can surf, you can ski. So just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And near to all of that, plenty of culture. So it's just a great place to be.
Yeah. Love it. That's fantastic. Guys, you guys know I'm in Florida. We have mountains here, but they're called ant beds.
No, thank you.
That's about the only mountains that we're going to see. So yeah, big difference. So tell me, how do you find your buyers? I mean, you can't be successful unless you're doing deals, which you guys are. But how do you go about finding your buyers, your listings? Things of that nature. We talked about agent attraction a little bit, so let's just talk about how do we find buyers and listings.
So something that sets us apart from any other team that we've come across here in Oregon is we actually don't pay for leads ever. And Mike and I have become personally Icon agents utilizing these methods, but we actually specialize in organic lead gen 100% of the time. It has a very good conversion rate, unless they are literally not approved. They will buy or sell. Yeah. And so, and it's way more fun. You know, if our agents want to cold call and door knock, that's fine. You know, I've gone out there and done it with them. You know, it's fun to get outside of our comfort zones, but ultimately we have different methods that we use that really give us a great work-life balance, and they're fulfilling, and we want to give and contribute to others. And a natural byproduct of that is business, a ton of business that's fun to get and great conversion rate.
And it's just a byproduct of being of value, and, you know, kind of just diving into things that you already like, right? Like agents will come to our team and like, you know, my last team lead made me cold call all day, and that sucks. I'm like,
it does.
Doing something that sucks, like, then obviously you're not doing. You're not
going to hang around very long.
No.
Yeah. So
Human
like,
nature.
you know, we just kind of dive into the things that we're already doing that we already enjoy. Like, so I'm in the military. I've been in 15 years. I run an IT help desk on the weekend side of things. And I meet a lot of people just organically that way. You know, and I love pickleball. I love sports in general. So I'll go and meet a bunch of people doing the stuff I already love, wearing my real estate gear. I don't even have to talk about what I do. People just see my passion for the things that I enjoy, and they're like, "Oh, I see you are in real estate. Can you answer this, that, or the other?" And you know, and just
I love it.
You know, it comes naturally. So it's fun to. I'm essentially retired, right? By all the hobbies I get to do full time, but I do business.
I love it. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm 52 years old and I run a podcast now. What are you talking about? I love it. You know, it's nice. It was funny. A quick story about that, about, you know, playing pickleball or whatever it might be. And you don't even have to tell people what you do, because it's going to happen, right? Organically. And it used to be like you play a round of golf, and you're like, oh, guys, I got to leave at the turn. Well, why? I got a closing I got to go meet. I got to be at this closing. You know, we sold the house in 30 days. It's just part. And the next thing you know, you're getting 3 other phone calls. Hey, man, I'm thinking of selling. I got to buy a house. I got to buy a investment property. So yeah, there's so many ways, and that may seem kind of cheesy, but it works. You know, it's just one of those ways. It's organic. You know, maybe I did have a closing. Maybe
that's right.
I was talking about something else. You know, closing the front door of my house. I don't know. Lock it up. You know,
we call that sprinkling the real estate into every single thing we do. So sometimes we have our gear on, but sometimes we tell our agents, you know, just make sure you sprinkle it in, make sure, be intentional with whatever you're doing, just like with anything, but be intentional about making sure that, you know, everyone around knows what you do. Just find little ways. But if you're just there to invest in others and do something you're passionate about, that's, you know, that's what's important. That's what people see 100%. Like you said.
Yeah, just like there's always an angle, right? Like I'll be like, oh man, my back's hurting, and people are like, why is your back hurting? I'm like, from carrying my clients to the finish line on this deal. So,
I love it.
There's always a way to make it work. So
now that almost, hey, you know, that begs the question. So how did you two meet? You know, what was the line there? No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
Well, we met when we were teenagers.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I know for sure, man. My wife and I, it's 32. Our anniversary is coming up next week. 32 years. So
congratulations.
And I pulled her over on side of the road in Dallas. That's how we met.
Really?
Yeah. Sound creepy? Yeah. Does that sound creepy as heck?
Yeah.
Hey, that was the 80s, man.
Were you a cop, or did you just have a fake
No,
life?
man.
What's up?
No, I had a mullet and a truck, and I lived in Dallas.
Yeah.
She pulled over, huh?
And she and her friends, she's in the. She will tell you this story too. And she goes, dumbest thing I ever did. She'll say just to punch me on it, right? And her and her friends, and we were at a cruising place. Believe it or not, I could get into a long story, but I won't. But yeah, I said, hey, pull over.
Yeah.
And you know, and it was so, I mean, you talk about kind of Dallas typical, man. I had like some chew in my mouth, you know, I had a mullet.
Oh yeah. This is such footloose vibes here.
Very footloose, 60 pounds lighter, you know. I think I was taller. I've shrunk with age too. At least I tell her that. And yeah, and just it's interesting, these stories. So I love the teenage romance, you know, love at first sight, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were together pretty much every day since. That's the weirdest part.
I
That's
love
awesome.
it.
It all worked out.
And your whole style has completely changed since then too.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You got to be adaptable though. I love
Yeah,
that.
you got to be adaptable. She's changed, I changed, we've changed together. As a couple, we're different, yeah, crazy stuff. But that's life, and that's what makes it great. Okay, so how do we get in touch with you guys? Whether we want to list a home, buy a home, or even better, maybe join the team.
Awesome. Yeah. So our website, hilltopproperty.group. And we are also on Facebook, Hilltop Property Group Oregon. And Instagram is just Hilltop Property Group. So easy.
And we're big into social media. We love doing reels. We love educating. We love we love being silly. So you'll see all that stuff on there.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's awesome. Last question, and do stay on with me about a minute after the show, just so I can tell you what's going to happen after the fact. I forgot to mention that at the top of the hour. But I'm going to ask you one last question, and just like the first question, nobody gets off the hook on this. I'm going to ask it, both of you can answer, one of you can answer, but take us out. We're here in the last couple of minutes. Take us out with something positive that you've learned recently. Whether it's on your heart, your mind, your soul, but something you think people need to hear, either in the business, about raising kids, about meeting as teenagers. Whatever it may be, but just take us out with something positive.
Cool. Yeah. So for me, I love this saying that things happen for you, not to you. Right. So no matter the situation, no matter if it's, if it seems like it sucks in the moment, there's something to be taken from that, especially in those times. So just reframing your mind to hunt the good stuff. And, there's something to be learned and to be built upon. So
Love it. How about you, Jordan? Anything?
For mine, last year, my word for my year was bold. And that really, really changed my life, both with, building a team as well as personally. So not being afraid, I was learning and focusing really hard on not learning to not care what people think, just to be myself. And that can be really, really scary to do. And then number two was to not be afraid to go out on a limb. And when we started doing our online Zoom calls, accountability, whatever it was, I was inviting people that I was before would have thought they'll never come. They don't know who I am. They'll never accept my invitation. And sometimes they didn't. But I was shocked at whenever I did put myself out on a limb, not being afraid to fail or be rejected or embarrassed. The amount of people that showed me support and love and value was absolutely amazing. And then by getting my cup filled, I could then fill others. So being bold it was one of the best things I ever worked on.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. A great sage advice from both of you guys, and I really appreciate that. Mike, Jordan, thank you so much for being on the program today, Hilltop Property Group. I look forward to catching up with you guys over the next 3, 6, 9 months, see how things are going, see how that movement forward, that 40 million goal is coming along, and definitely would love to help you guys be a part of that. Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Much.
Thank you.